Sorry I'm late. This is a We-On-Loc Nation show. I just got home, had to do something with the family real quick, and that's what led me to be late. But better late, better late than never. Better late than never, fam. Yeah, we're doing a show on this dude's temper tantrum. He likes to get at it with four-star generals, likes to get at it with the public, and then with the mainstream media. Observe.
President, thank you for doing this. I'm glad you are safe. I am glad that everyone is safe. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. It was quite an evening. It was a very difficult thing to watch, frankly, but doing very well.
Mr. President, do you know if you were the target of the gunman?
I don't know. It sounded to me, I read a manifesto. He's radicalized. He was a Christian, a believer, and then he became an anti-Christian. He had a lot of change. He's been going through a lot based on what he wrote. His brother complained about him, and I think reported him to the police. And his sister likewise complained about him. His family was very concerned. He was probably a pretty sick guy.
I want to get to all of those details and also walk through what happened last night. But first, this appears to be the third attempted assassination on your life. The first in Butler, the second, of course, on the golf course in Florida. Why do you think so many people may be trying to kill you?
So I've said it, and I've said it numerous times, and I've actually, because of the position I'm in, I've done quite a bit of research into the word assassination, terrible word. And they go after consequential presidents. They go after presidents that do things. If you look at what I've done, we've turned this country around. We've taken a country that was actually a dead country. It was dying very rapidly, and it's the hottest country anywhere in the world. We had a skirmish, a war, whatever you want to call it, with Venezuela. We won that very decisively, and we now have a great relationship with Venezuela. It's been a very profitable relationship, and we're in Iran right now. Other presidents should have done it, but they never chose to do it. They should have. They made a terrible mistake by not doing it. It's tougher now than it would have been 10 years ago, or
Again, the delusion.
even 5 years ago, because they had thousands and thousands of missiles and everything else. If we didn't do the B-2 bomber attack, that alone was a big deal. The killing of Soleimani, which I did in my first term, was a big deal. But when you're a consequential, when you do things, a lot of things, and things that work out very well for our country, Abraham Lincoln was assassinated. McKinley was assassinated. McKinley made the country very rich. People don't realize that. Then Teddy Roosevelt went out and spent the money that was made by McKinley, but he was very consequential, actually, but he was assassinated. So
you mentioned, Mr. President, consequential, and your policies are also controversial. Is that part of it?
Well, I don't think that way. I don't think in terms of what they are. I just think of what they are for the country. For instance, I inherited the worst border we've ever had in the history of our country, where 25 million people came in, 25 million people at least. And many of them were from hardcore criminals, and they were drug dealers, and they were from prisons. They emptied out prisons into our country. They emptied out mental institutions and insane asylums into our country. And I don't know if that's controversial to say we have to move those people out, but we have. But it is from the standpoint, you're doing something, and you're doing something that's good. Things like men playing in women's sports, I'm against that. Things like transgender for everyone, I'm against that. There's so many things that I'm against. I don't think they're controversial. I think the other side is controversial, but I do a lot of things and I get things done. And, we're respected now as a country all over the world.
Welcome to the show. Like, share, subscribe.
Some people love that, but some people probably.
Yeah, we're going to get through all the lies, the delusion, and the deceitfulness. Until then, we're going to get to the meat and potatoes in a little bit. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel. And if you like the content, hit up the super chat, hit up the Cash App.
No.
Mr. President, I'm sure you've now had the opportunity to see some of the pictures of what happened last night, and I
have.
want to walk through that.
Sure.
It was just around 8:30 p.m. You are sitting there next to the First Lady. The entertainer named Oz Perlman is talking to you. He's known as the
Right.
mentalist. When did you know something was wrong?
Right around that point, in fact, you can see the expression on the First Lady's face, and your president of the evening, chairman or president or both, who was doing a great job, by the way.
Weijia Zhang of
Your
CBS
associate,
News.
yeah, she was a terrific person. And she was, she had this big smile. I mean,
Hey, Barb.
you know what they were talking about? They were asking the name of Caroline's child that he didn't know, I guess. But
Your
he was
press
able
secretary is expecting, and he was trying to guess
That's
the
right.
baby's name.
That was the question.
Where's the ear scar?
Able to get it. I'm not sure I'm a believer in this, but he was able to get it. And
Probably hiding.
First Lady and your associate were amazed. You could see and that
Shock on their faces.
it wasn't a shock about something outside.
Oh, hell
But
no.
right after that, we heard a big bang, and it was either a gunshot or
No, you said it was trays, remember?
it was a tray of dishes. Which
Perfect.
happens a lot in ballrooms. And I was hoping it was a tray, but it wasn't.
You mentioned the First Lady. Her face, she looked very alarmed. Was she scared?
Well, I don't want to say, and people don't like having it said that they were scared, but certainly, I mean, who wouldn't be when you have a situation like that? By that time, I think she realized ahead of time that that was more of a bullet than it was a tray. And she was, I looked at her face just a little while ago before I came. I saw the scene. They played it for me in, pretty good close up. And she looked very upset about what just took place. Yeah. Why not?
You see the security moving quickly,
Right.
within seconds, grabbing the vice president by his coat, lifting him up, bringing him out. Then the counter assault comes in. Took 10 seconds for them to flank you, Mr. President, and then 20 seconds to get you out. It looked chaotic. At one point, you were down. What was happening?
Well, what happened is it was a little bit me. I wanted to see what was happening, and I wasn't making it that easy for him. I wanted to see what was going on. And by that time, we started to realize maybe it was a bad problem, different kind of a problem.
You know the BS, the lie that came out of his mouth just now. He was lurking around the corner while everybody else was getting grabbed and running out, the exit doors or whatever. How are you president? Your life is on the line and you peeping around the freaking corner. You know what that tells me? You was bullshitting.
And different than what would be normal noise from a ballroom, which you hear all the time. And I was surrounded by great people, and I probably made them act a little bit more slow. I said, wait a minute, let me see, wait a minute. So, I'm telling guys.
Just at that moment where it looks like you go sort of down with the search, you were telling them to wait?
Well, I know what happened is then I started walking with them.
Okay, no problem.
And they said, please go down on the floor. So I went down, and First Lady went down also, but we were asked to go down by the agents as I was walking. In other words,
They wanted you almost to crawl
I was
out.
standing up, pretty much. I was standing up and then turned around the opposite direction and started pretty much walking out, pretty tall, a little bent over because, I'm not looking to be standing too tall. And but I was walking out. It was pretty about halfway there, and they said, please go down to the floor, please go down to the floor. So I dropped to the floor, so did the First Lady.
What was your thought at that moment? What did the First Lady say?
Well, my thought was, I've been through this before a couple of times, and she has not, to this
Yeah, and they all missed. Oops.
extent, she handled it great. I mean, she's very strong, smart. She got it. She knew what was happening. She listened. I did too, by the way.
Because this was the first time
when
she
they
was.
said, when they said drop down, that meant trouble. And obviously, I'm the president, and I listened to what they said. Please drop down, sir. Please drop down. So I
Magic
walking halfway,
unarmed
and I dropped down, and they
eardrum.
because we had little ways to go.
Really?
Ballroom surroundings.
Magic
And,
unarmed
Then I
eardrum.
got up and we went to
Shame on you.
for a while, and I tried to get them to continue the event if possible.
You wanted to go back in.
I did, I really did, because I don't like to have a criminal or a sick person or somebody, whoever he is, you'll figure it out. I mean, I think we're already figuring out he's a man with a lot of problems. But you don't want to have somebody like this, essentially attacking our Constitution, attacking our country, changing events that are, it's an important event. It was a
night celebrating the First Amendment and the freedom of the press.
That's right, exactly. And this was a record setter. I mean, this was a very big, that dinner had some problems for the last 9 years, and now, and I didn't help them. And this time I went, and I felt really good being there. There was a great camaraderie. I wasn't sure what the response. It was, a lot of press, a lot of media. And when I walked in, I got a very nice applause. I wasn't sure. I said,
I have a question. Why are people just running their mouth instead of running for political office? If you think you can do better, run for office. You gonna vote for me? If you're gonna vote for me, then I will definitely run for office. But I'm not a political figure. I get too tempered. I think the most qualified, there's two qualified people in my opinion, Kamala Harris and Jasmine Crockett. None of them said that they were going to run yet. We have 3 years left.
Told my wife, I said, I may walk in and they may give me a hard time, or I may walk in, let's see what happens. And I walked in, they got very nice, I think they were happy to see me there, actually. And I can tell you, there's the biggest impact that I saw in the entire evening was, and I say this being somebody that's had a lot of, let's say we've argued a little bit to get things that I want done. I fight for a border, and they fight for an open border, and we have a lot of differences.
You've got some tough words for the press in the back.
There was tremendous. By this time the event had taken place, people were starting to feel safe. There was tremendous camaraderie. I mean, I saw Democrats, I saw senators, I saw congressmen and women. I saw people that weren't necessarily on my side from the other party. Mostly, pretty much the Republicans are on my side, so I'm not that, surprised. And they were going, way to go. There was spirit in that room. I mean, it was like the whole country was together. It was pretty amazing. It made a big impression. It was very nice to see.
None of them were paying attention except for the ones in the back.
With the press?
None of them were paying attention except for the ones in the back.
For whatever reason, we disagree on a lot of subjects. We talk about crime. I'm very strong on crime. It seems like the press isn't. It's not.
166 people in the building. Let's get the likes up.
Almost one and the same.
Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you're here with me.
Ever had in the country where, as you know, it's at
do you never lie, Trump? Nah, he lies all the time.
We have a very tough border. Before me, 25 million people came in. I mean, whether it's 20 or 25 or 30, but they say 25 million people came in. 0 people.
This is nearly.
Can I ask you something? You said something.
All about him. All about him.
I think are very standard. I want women to be able to play women. I don't want men and women sports. No president would do this type of crap. Men and women's sports. So when you say get along,
that's the other side.
I don't think I could ever. No, but I don't think I could ever change my feelings on certain policies. I want strong borders. They want open borders. Such a difference.
Can I ask you, Mr. President?
I will say this though. After the event, meaning it looked like things were good. We knew she's wasting words and breath right now. Immediately. There was welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. It's very nice to see.
Like, share, and subscribe.
President, you, Mr. President, the Vice President, the Speaker of the House.
Oh, before I forget, thank you, everyone. 17K. That's quite a damn accomplishment. So I like to thank everybody for participating and subbing and being a part of the show. I want to thank everyone. That's including you, Barb. That's including you, Lisa.
The Secretary of State, Secretary Hegseth, almost the entire line of presidential succession was in that ballroom. Who was the designated survivor?
Well, first of all, I have to say, it's not a safe ballroom. I'm building a safe ballroom. And one of the reasons I'm building it is exactly what happened last night. We're building a room right there. If you walk out and move 20 yards to the left, you'll be right at the entrance to the ballroom. And that ballroom is being built on the safest piece of property in this country, probably one of the safest pieces of land in the world. We have.
But that's the White House. White House Finance Center can't use White House property.
It's able to be used by certainly the White House. It says the White House correspondence. That's the White House press. I'm sure that it's available. It's up to the president, but that would be made available. And this has bulletproof glass. This has, this is the highest level of security. Also,
it's illegal.
Very importantly, I could have built suites on top. I could have done a lot of things. And I said, no, this has to be pure. This has to be where people stay off property and they go through one very impactful, very strong entrance, one very powerful entrance.
Correct.
No
disgusting.
This is the best, highest. This has all sorts of security equipment at levels that you could never have in a regular ballroom. And we're ahead of schedule. We're right on budget, ahead of schedule. I wish it could be even sooner, but we're months ahead of schedule.
Who's gonna pay?
But it doesn't open till 28.
Who's gonna pay for that? We're gonna be paying for the freaking ballroom off of taxpayers' money.
So that means you have another season and a half to go.
Right.
But
what is this?
This is exactly why the military, and this is exactly why Secret Service and all law enforcement want it, because you have maybe 1,000 hotel rooms above the ballroom. I'm just saying, in terms of maximum security, it's not the best thing. You can do it.
Wasn't paid for by me.
Like
it wasn't paid for by no damn donors. Shut up.
Very close to the ballroom.
Yeah.
Which makes sense. So we're doing something that's going to have a tremendous impact on solving this problem.
In that video, you can see the gunman running through the metal detectors, and he fired off one or two rounds.
His speed was rather incredible. Actually, it was like a blur.
How did he get that close with the place swarming with security?
I will say.
Right. If it's paid for, then why are we asking for more money? That's correct.
These people, they may be crazy, but they're not stupid, and they figure things out.
And why did the House of Representatives tell him no?
And he went to it, and then boom, he popped through it.
This is the reason why we need the ballroom.
Having the equipment on the outside of the building maybe is better than having it on the inside of the building. Sometimes that's tough. Sometimes it's horrendous weather. Sometimes it's pouring.
Who cares about?
Lots of things happen. But maybe last night was actually quite nice. The weather. So maybe something like that has to take place. From the moment that he was, he really, the NFL should sign him up. He was fast. When you look at it, it's almost like a blur.
Right.
But it was amazing because as soon as they saw that, you could see them drawing their guns. They were so professional, aimed their guns, and then they took them down immediately. The doors were sealed, the room was sealed, the ballroom itself, where the people were. And they really, I think they did a great job.
I was in the room, not far from you, Mr. President, could hear what sounded like gunshots or commotion.
Right.
People nearby could smell the gunpowder. Everybody hit the floor. There were a number of people who were very, very scared.
Yeah.
How worried were you that there were going to be injuries?
I wasn't worried. I understand a lot.
You weren't worried because you were too busy plotting your next bullshit, illogical warfare. Because after this, you went straight to the conference and said, we're not taking our ball off of Iran, which you didn't take the ball off of it.
We live in a crazy world. You can really enhance your chances of having a perfect situation, but sometimes things will happen. I didn't want to see what was happening because, the president, in one way, I guess I should be hiding, and another way, I want to see if I can be helpful. But I did watch because I could see what was going on at the door. I also saw a lot of very strong, physically strong, really attractive law enforcement people come through those doors. And frankly, it made me feel very safe, very, very safe. There's nobody going to get by them. And this was at the very back of the ballroom, looking at the back of the ballroom.
The counter assault team that comes in.
They were very impressive. I think they were very impressive. I think the whole operation was very impressive. The only thing you could say is maybe they could move that counterpoint out deeper. In other words, move it to the outside of the building.
Let's talk about that. Mr. President, I wonder how much has the Secret Service and the FBI briefed you about this suspect, Cole Thomas Allen? Have you read what a senior U.S. official is describing to us as a manifesto?
Yeah.
Did you know that he emailed it to family members?
We found all of that out this morning.
Right before the attack.
Yeah, we found that out this morning, and the family members were concerned. I think the brother called up the police. I think the sister may have called the police. The parents were rather devastated.
Again, I don't believe anything until they come up with all the evidence. Right now, they're just treating this like a fashion show. This is pretty much like, whatever, dude. This is your third, maybe fourth attempt. So, I mean, I don't like violence, but come on, dude. I'm gonna ask again, fairly indiscreet. How much you think this is fake? Put a 1 in the chat if you think this is fake. Put a 2 in the chat if you think this is real.
Stated he lived with the parents. I saw the parents last night on television opening the door. I assume that was his parents. Look, you have sick people, and you have to mitigate the risk. But some of these sick people, it's amazing. They're very sick, but they're also, in some cases, very, very smart. He went to great school. I can tell you the person in Butler, I don't know if you ever looked at his academic credentials. He had almost 1,600 in his college boards. 1,600. Nobody has it. It's the upper 99.9 percentile or something, and he was a crazy person, but a smart crazy person.
You got 200 in the chat. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
The law enforcement.
Like, share, and subscribe.
A great job last night.
Let me ask you.
I guess if they did,
go ahead.
Be here. But I think they really did a great job. Now, can you make adjustments? We're also learning. Can you make adjustments? I think the only adjustment would be you move your security equipment further away. But it was about 50 yards away. 50 yards is a lot of yards. Now, when a guy's running at that speed, he was a very fast person. And he got him by a little bit by surprise, but that didn't matter because he was totally subdued very shortly after he passed that one point.
The so-called manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets.
Here we go.
He also wrote this, I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
Do you think he was referring to you?
Excuse me. I'm not a pedophile. You read that crap from some sick person. I got associated with all the stuff that has nothing to do with me. I was totally exonerated. Your friends on the other side of the plate are the ones that were involved with, let's say, Epstein or other things. But I said to myself, I'll do this interview and they'll probably, I read the manifesto,
Why is it that you're snapping on her? He doesn't like to answer questions that may or may not incriminate him. Or, excuse me, I said that wrong. That may incriminate him. He's already been incriminated. But yet, this is what he does. He's nice one minute, and then he snaps on reporters the next. This is all he does. Temper tantrums.
as a sick person. But you should be ashamed of yourself reading that, because
See?
I'm not any of those things.
Mr. President,
And I
these
was
are
never,
the gunman's words.
excuse me. You shouldn't be reading that on 60 Minutes. You're a disgrace. But go ahead, let's finish the interview.
The other thing that he wrote in
You're disgraceful.
the other thing in the manifesto that I think is worth looking at in terms of determining his motive is he had been staying at the hotel since Friday. He checked in, he said he had cased the place, and he wrote, "What the hell is the Secret Service doing?" And he wrote this quote, "I expected security cameras at every bend, bugged hotel rooms, armed agents every 10 feet, metal detectors out the wazoo. What I got is nothing." He wrote, like, this level of incompetence is insane. Sir, you have already had two
Well, he was
attempted
pretty incompetent too, because he got caught, and he got caught pretty easily. So I'd say he was pretty incompetent too. I could take any event having to do with security or anything else. I can always find fault, no matter what. I can take a baseball team that won the game 18-0 and say they should have played better. Those guys did a good job last night. They did a really good job. Now, do they make adjustments? They do. They learn.
Roof, that's too much like right.
In a different world with the internet than we had.
That is just too much like right.
But even years ago, it was very dangerous. I mean, just ask Honest Abe Lincoln. Pretty dangerous. And but we are living a very, the internet, I think maybe more than anything else, it's radicalized some people. It's made people mentally sick. It's also a great thing. It's a phenomenal thing. With a leader in it, with a leader in AI, it's a great thing. But you'll always find problems.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a different age. It's a very different time.
Mm-hmm. I mentioned that because, again, as his motive, you brought this up, he had social media accounts that had anti-Trump and anti-Christian rhetoric.
You should read. Why don't you read all the anti-Trump? Why don't you read it? You just did, so why don't you read it?
Well, he had a lot of anti-Christian rhetoric. He was part of a group called the Wide Awakes. He had attended a No Kings protest in California.
No Kings.
What did security tell you about what may have been his motives?
The reason you have people like that is you have people doing no kings. I'm not a king. What I am, if I was a king, I wouldn't be dealing with you.
Oh!
I'm not a king. I see these no kings.
Oh, he big man.
Southern Law was funded. You saw all that. Southern Law is financing the KKK and lots of other radical.
Excuse me, ain't your father part of the KKK?
Terrible groups. And then they go out and they say, "Oh, we've got to stop the KKK," and yet they give them hundreds of thousands and even millions of dollars. It's a total scam run by the.
This is the same dude in his first term said that there are people fine on both sides.
Democrats. It shows you that, like Charlottesville was all funded by the Southern Law. That was a Southern Law deal too, and it was done to make me look bad, and it turned out to be a total fake. It basically was a rigged election. This was a part of the rigging of the election. And that's what you really should be doing. I mean,
elections were not rigged.
60-minute episodes, which really hasn't changed very much from the last few years, I'm surprised. But one of those episodes should be on Southern Law and the fact that they spent millions and millions of dollars on absolute far right and just bad groups. And then they'd use those groups and they'd say, "These are Republican groups and we're coming to your rescue." And they're the ones that have funded it, and they're the ones that keep them going.
I want to talk.
Pretty sad. Do you think it's pretty sad?
The allegations and
This would be the same shit that he would say if he was a Democrat. Oh, I forgot. He used to be a Democrat. Hey, hold on. No, fucked up. That's the same shit he would say if he was a fucking Democrat. So I'm not playing the little games.
and we're able to go to a court of law and adjudicate them. So
Yeah,
allegations and indictments.
after 5 years, it takes you about 5 years.
I do want to talk about that.
Well, I've also won a lot of money from fake news media where they write falsely about me, and not that I want to sue people because I don't, but I bring lawsuits against the fake news. I brought lawsuits against your network, and you paid me $38 million because you did something that was so horrible with Kamala. You put an answer down that wasn't responsive to the question because her real answer was so bad, it was election threatening. And you paid me a lot of money. You tried to pull one off. It was terrible. It was a terrible thing that you did. And, when you say, can we all get along? You can, but when people do things like that, how about the BBC?
Obama was not born in Kenya. He was born in Hawaii.
Where the BBC has me, actually AI, they have me
His
saying
father was Kenyan.
Said that. It turned out they gave me a little AI treatment where they have my lips speaking words of hate, tremendous hate that I never said. They don't know what to do. They've admitted they're wrong. They just don't know what to do. They actually have me making a major statement. And it wasn't me. It was my face. It was my lips. My lips were perfectly in sync with the words. I said, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. So
I hear you, Mr. President.
So then when you say, can you get along? I can get along with anybody, but if people are going to cheat, if people are going to be fake, you sort of don't want to get along.
On that, what do you say to people who are encouraging political violence or even cheering it on?
Well, I think the ones that are doing that are much more far left than far right. Much more. When you see, again, Southern law, when you see some of the statements that are made that are so even...
Hold on a second.
That's in...
To the dude in the chat, what does that say? Where was Obama born? Oh, Kabawaba Kalalabunin Medical Center. And that is in Hawaii Specific Health. Oops. Shh. Just shh. I know what I'm talking about.
Encouraging. You're saying one of the things this guy said in his manifesto, which you didn't read, you should have, is that he attended a No Kings rally, along with not too many people. And probably it had an impact. They get up and they say whatever they want. No, I'm against that. I think it's terrible.
Also at the dinner last night was your secretary, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. His sister, Carrie Kennedy, was there. They've both witnessed their father and their uncle be assassinated.
That's right.
Erica Kirk was there. The House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise, was there.
Yeah.
Political violence has touched so many people in that room.
Yeah, and the only people that spew violence against you all are other white folks. But yet somehow we get the blame.
Is there something that you as president can do? What can be done to change the trajectory?
Well, you go back 20 years, 40 years, 100 years, 200 years, 500 years. It's always been there. People are assassinated, people are injured, people are hurt. And I'm not sure that it's any more now than there was. I do think that the hate speech of the Democrats, much more so, is very dangerous. I really think it's very dangerous for the country. I think the fact that I've accomplished so much, I've made our country great again. I mean, this country was dead. Our country was dead.
It still is.
Sleepy Joe Biden had no idea what he was doing. I don't think it was
Sleepy? We don't want to talk about sleeping, President.
was him either. I think it was the people that surround him in the Oval Office at the beautiful Resolute desk. I don't think he knew what he was doing. He didn't sign anything. He used the auto pen to sign 90% of the things.
Let's have some fun. How many people in the chat think he's full of shit? Put a one in the chat. He think he's full of shit.
Of anger and hate. Our country was dead, and now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. No, not even close.
Last night,
As an example,
See how rude he is?
For 4 years, less than $1 trillion under Biden. In 11 months, $18 trillion.
Hey, Lisa.
Now, most people are happy about that, but some people are really angry about it. You know why? Because it means we should be around for a long time, and they don't want that to happen.
last night you had very much a tone of unity when you were in the White House press briefing room.
I think so, yeah. I think I really felt very calm. I feel very calm, and I feel very calm right now, other than a couple of your questions, which are meant to antagonize.
Just rude.
But
Rude in his feelings and in his temper tantrums.
I feel very calm. I thought last night was a very important thing to do, and people have said I did it well. Not an easy thing to do. You know, you leave a scene like that, and then you're supposed to let our country and even the world know that it's going to be okay.
For those who are coming in here,
when we're talking about division in this country.
For those who are coming in here, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Go ahead, hit the super chat for me. Hit the cash app for me. And thank you for coming.
The political violence. Now many of your cabinet secretaries live on military bases.
Yeah.
In order to, because of the potential threats against them.
Well, they choose to. I'm not sure that they need to. They also have nice places, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Democrats did the same thing. Some of the housing on the military bases is very nice. I'm not sure they do it necessarily for violence, but probably it's not the worst thing in the world. Look, they're doing. This is a consequential presidency. I have a great cabinet. And they do things that are very good, but some people, you know, they're good for us, they're not good for other people. Like, as an example, Iran, when they're not going to have a nuclear weapon. They will not have. They're not going to blow up the world. They're crazy. They're not going to blow up the world.
Wait a minute. This was the same person who wanted to boom Iran. I can't say the N word, but you're the one that to boom Iran, but then you wanted a ceasefire. Now, that same weapon that you were going to fire at Iran was going to do heavy damage and possibly eradicate the entire nation. Possibly. What do you think they were going to do in retaliation?
And therefore,
hypocrite.
They're not happy. And when they're not happy, people do things that are violent. Now, I'm not tracing anything back to them, but certainly if they had a shot, they'd probably take it. So when you're a consequential president, or if you have a consequential administration, things happen that wouldn't happen if you're Sleepy Joe Biden. Everyone was happy with Biden. The world was happy. You know why they were happy? Because they were taking advantage of us. Because they treated the United States like we were stupid people, and they made a lot of money, but they don't do that anymore.
Last night was going to be your first attendance at the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
That's right.
As president.
And I was looking forward to making a speech.
Mm-hmm.
And it would have been a lot different had I gone up and had I stayed. It was very interesting because I said, I can't make that speech. I was going to do a pretty
Tell me.
rip-roaring speech. Oh, I won't go into the total details, but no, I was going to hit people really hard with humor. In other words, really hard with humor. And I thought it was good. When this happened, and I wanted it to go forward, because I just didn't want it canceled by a person. Our country's too good for that. Our country's too important for that and too powerful for that.
Ruth, are you a Trump supporter?
But I said to him, and I thought it would go up.
Just curious.
Until the last moment when the military came and Secret Service and law enforcement.
Why did they say you couldn't go back when you were saying I want to go back?
Because we had a very sealed room. It was very airtight. once the doors opened and
Ruth, are you a
the
Trump
Secret
supporter?
Service, military, others came in, the police came in, the law enforcement.
Nope, I
They came
dislike the
in, a
guy.
lot of them. We had a lot of law enforcement.
Okay.
And it was a wall. But the doors were open, it was breached by them.
Mhm.
If somebody happened to slip in, and when they said that, I said, you're right. But I didn't want to go. But it would have been a much different speech. I would have had to just get up and say, I love you all. And there was love in the room. It was amazing. There was love in the room.
And why do you think that is? Why do you think that the tone
People
changed?
came together. Democrats that truly can't stand me were saying, sir, could I just shake your hand? I mean, I'm leaving and I'm seeing people, high level.
Yeah,
people.
some people are very
And they're saying,
delusional.
sir, great job. Sir, could I, one of them, I don't want, you probably have it on tape someplace. One of them said, could I hug you? A big politician.
Yeah. Economy is suffering. Gas prices are high, food is high, rent is high. Yeah, he's doing a real good job.
On the other side, there was love. It just all came together. It was very amazing to see. It was a very beautiful thing, in a non-beautiful moment, really, but it was a very beautiful thing that was happening.
Mhm. I hesitate to ask you about this, but as you know, these conspiracy theories out there on the left and the right, that the event was staged or that it didn't happen.
What did last night didn't happen?
That that it was because it was your first time there, or that Butler didn't happen. These conspiracy theories that are gaining traction on the
and
internet.
October 7th didn't happen, and
Mhm.
World War II didn't happen, and the Holocaust didn't happen, and many things didn't happen. Yeah, no, I hear.
Mhm.
I don't know. I think they're more sick than they are con people, but there's a lot of con in it too.
Mhm.
I haven't heard that last night didn't happen. What usually it takes a little bit longer.
Yeah.
Usually they wait about 2 or 3 months to start saying that.
I think and forgive me, I don't peddle in that stuff or certainly look at it because I was there. But the idea, I'm wondering where this is coming
That'd be a
from.
tough one, I think.
This is coming
That'd be
from.
tough. I think that'd be a tough sell.
Yeah. Secret Service now is currently meeting, as they always do, to discuss your security footprint. The King is coming here, King of England.
I think it's great. He'll be very safe.
Yeah, and will
The
your
White
events be able
House
to
grounds,
go forward? You're no concerns about security going
No.
forward?
the White House grounds are really safe.
Mhm.
This area of not very many acres, it's really safe. And he'll be staying here now. I believe he's going to a couple of other locations because he's here for a few days. He's a great guy. They called and they are so looking forward to being here.
Mhm.
We spoke this morning.
So the King is fine. He's still coming. Your events are still going forward.
He's a good person.
There's no indication from the Secret Service or the FBI that there's an additional threat to you or other administration officials?
No. This was a lone wolf, in my opinion. Now, we may find out something else. This was a sick lone wolf. He's a sicko. And very disturbed person. You could see it with his journey through life. He was a Christian. He was a member of the Christian club at his college, Caltech, which is a good college. I'm sure they're very embarrassed by this because, it's a great college. So that means he's pretty smart to be in. You got to get pretty good marks, got to get pretty good board scores. It's a hard school to get into. So he's a smart guy, but he's a sick guy. Yeah, that's the problem. I mean, it would be like.
Yeah, just like you, Trump, smart but sick. Well, you're not too smart. Yeah, well, other people in the media, a lot of people in the media are getting sick and tired of your bullshit. Usually I wouldn't listen to these people, but they have some very, very strong opinions about Trump. Very, very strong opinions, especially what happened tonight. All that fake shit. But I don't want to call it fake because too many people in the chat are going to get mad. Not that I give a shit, but it's just too many people got strong opinions about non-Trump supporters and how we're supposed to kiss this dude's ass for lying so much and putting us in jeopardy, putting our country in jeopardy. So sad. So sad indeed.
Even Trump and somebody, an ally in Donald Trump, as Larry Ellison, who has now bought and consolidated all of the media. And Donald Trump still treats the press with disdain. This is an incredible exchange right here. Play the clip.
Called Manifesto is a stunning thing to read, Mr. President. He appears to reference a motive in it. He writes this quote, administration officials, they are targets. And he also wrote this, I'm no longer willing to permit a pedophile, rapist, and traitor to coat my hands with his crimes. What's your reaction to that?
Well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people, horrible people. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody.
You think he was referring to you?
Excuse me.
That is just so stunning to me. The way he says that, I am not a rapist. And then she so cleverly says, oh, you thought he was talking about you? Well, of course. But this, it just cannot be impressed upon you. Now, if this is a president of the United States sitting there saying, I'm not a rapist, I'm not a pedophile, because the elephant in the room is that he is. Pumps.
Well, I mean, I hate to tell him, you have been adjudicated in a court of law in the Southern District of New York as a rapist. You are a rapist. And what I found interesting was the turnaround. And to your point about Larry Ellison, I mean, he was on and being interviewed within 24 hours to make sure everybody knew how he, it took me back to the strong man. Like, he has to go and show us how great he is, when really he just made a huge ass of himself, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I just think it's important that he lives in this bubble, and all of these people in his White House live in this bubble. I think it was somebody in his administration after the shooting tried to do the whole USA chant, and it just was crickets in the ballroom, because this president's approval rating is only at the cult level. That's it. So he gets out on 60 Minutes, he gets in front of the White House press corps, and all of the shit that they tell themselves that they're so popular and they're so powerful, it all starts to completely unravel. And I thought this was really interesting. I mean, this is a guy who, I think he's not smart about a lot of things, but I do think he's smart about PR. I do think he has really good instincts about propaganda. And so it was fascinating to me that this image got put out last night. Pop this up. There he is sitting there. And I mean, you can see the cankles, the shoes, you can see, his suits are always look like they're not tailored very well. And here he is just popping out this new body. So not only is this administration reeling from, not being able to pitch and sell this illegal war.
Hold on. We're on a timeout here. Because what are you stressing out about? Barb, what are you stressing out about? $300 in the chat. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Oh, yes, he was born in Hawaii. His father was a Kenyan, yes. But his mother was white. Yes. Him and, well, wish I could know. Barb, what's going on? Pause this. I need to know what do we need to do to unstress you? Regular stress. I took some stress there. Barb, I think you need to cut out if you have to. Get your ass up on out of here. We'll be fine. Just go ahead and go ahead and bow out. We got this. Go ahead and at least my stress. Stress. This is exciting. Yes, it's very exciting, but I want your stress levels to be normal. So if you have to bow out, don't hesitate. We got this. We do have this. I'm gonna show y'all something. The boy got some Trump's temper. Trump's temper. Wait, where did I see that at? Where did I see that at? Nope, that was 2 years ago. I saw this recently. Let's see. Oh, that's Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel did that shit. No, the same one Trump fired. Well, tried to fire. Oh, my bad. That was some Jimmy Kimmel shit. The Jimmy Kimmel came out. Wait, what? Oh no. Furious Canadian delivered a blow to Trump's. Whoa, hold on.
The people of Canada, and they are not holding back as the United States is trying to threaten Canada heading into these CUSMA negotiations, the Canadian-United States-Mexico agreement. The United States is trying to extort Canada that if you even want to have the privilege of negotiating with us, you need to pay to play and make all of these concessions for us to even consider a renewal of CUSMA. Otherwise, we are going to try to harm your country and inflict more economic pain. That's the Trump regime's posture as it relates to Canada. And Canada's like, okay, we've had demonstrated to you already that when we're ready to fight back, we're going to win this. Look at the Canadian boycott against United States products, services, and tourism into the United States. Canada is ready to fight. This has the Trump regime running scared. We know Howard Lutnick is like, oh, Canada sucks, man. Canada sucks. Like, why are they even doing this? To which Senator Shaheen from New Hampshire is like, because you're threatening its sovereignty, because you keep on mocking it, because you impose unlawful tariffs against it, because you constantly launch these phony pretextual investigations.
Breaking news. Wait. News like Trump jumps a bombshell.
Never did. Jenny, I did a lot during my first term, but then we had COVID and we had to focus on other things. You couldn't be tariffing Italy, Spain, France, as they were dying by the thousands and millions. But we did with China, and China paid us billions and billions of dollars. And I started the process, but then I had to end it a little bit because of COVID. We focused on that. But no, it's a very important decision. And frankly, if they make the wrong decision, it will be a devastation for our country. We've taken in trillions of dollars. And by the way,
you taking in trillions of dollars.
Example, they said they're all happy. Everybody's happy. But some whack job put in a lawsuit. It went to a very liberal court, and the liberal court ruled it was 11. They ruled 7-4 with one of the most liberal of them all voting in our favor because they're patriots. I think I give tremendous credit to that judge. And now it's going to the Supreme Court. Now we're going to be asking for early admittance. We're going tomorrow, and we're going to ask for an expedited ruling because, when you look at the stock market's down today, the stock market's down because of that, because the stock market needs the tariffs. They want the tariffs. If you look at AI, all of those, all of that money that's going to be invested, trillions and trillions of dollars, the biggest thing, bigger than the internet, I suspect. It's the internet plus 3 or 4 other things combined. We are leading very substantially with AI. We're leading because of tariffs. We're leading because of talent, and this is where they'd like to be. But without the tariffs, we wouldn't have a chance because we wouldn't be able to protect those investments of the companies coming in. So if you took away tariffs, we could end up being a third world country. That's how big the ruling. So we're asking for an expedited ruling.
As a backstop to that, President, you have a Republican-controlled Congress. You control the House. You control the Senate.
Yeah, but we don't have 60 votes. We don't have 60 votes.
You don't
I'd love
have
to
to
do
get
that.
enough
Oh,
votes.
if we had 60 senators, if we got the 60 votes, we would get them. But we need 60 votes, and we need, a certain number in the House. I think we'd get, I don't know, we have about 5 of them here. Would everybody agree with me on tariffs? Without tariffs, we're a different country. We've taken in so much money. And here's the thing. We signed a deal with Japan. They're paying us hundreds of billions of dollars. We signed a deal with South Korea. We signed a deal with the European Union. We signed a deal with Europe. And those countries are paying us $950 billion. And they're happy about it. They're okay. As one of them said, it's amazing that we got away with it so long. One of my friends, a leader of one of the countries, and they're fine with it. They all signed. If that ruling ever went against us, I guess we'd have to give back hundreds of billions. We would have to give trillions and trillions of dollars back to countries that have been ripping us off for the last 35 years. And I can't imagine it happening. On a legal basis, they have no legal basis whatsoever. But on a common sense basis, it would destroy America. Okay.
We talked about controlling the sky. On Sunday, the satellite signal of Ursula von der Leyen's plane was alleged.
With Ursula? Well, she had an interesting event. She's a tremendous woman. And so what are you asking me about her?
NATO is concerned about the 92 about this.
NATO is concerned about it. Well, nobody knows where it came from, but they did take away her ability to use a phone. Sometimes that's a good thing. Sometimes that could happen to me. I'd be very happy.
Considering reducing the tariffs on India from 50%,
What does that mean?
are you considering taking away some of the tariffs that you've imposed on India as you had posted?
No, we get along with India very well, but India has, you have to understand, for many years it was a one-sided relationship.
The
Only now since I
chat
came
is
along and
killing him right
that
now.
we have with tariffs. India was charging us
Boring.
They were about the highest in the world, number one.
Taco.
We therefore weren't doing much
Boring.
business with us because we weren't charging them. Foolishly, we weren't charging them. So they would send
Tacos.
everything they made, they'd send it in, pour it into our country. Therefore, it wouldn't be made here, which is a negative. But we would not send in anything because they were charging us 100% tariffs. And, I'll give you an example. Harley Davidson couldn't sell into India. There was a 200% tariff on a motorcycle. So what happens? Harley Davidson went to India and built
Ruth.
a motorcycle plant. And now they don't have to
That's
pay
all.
the same thing as us. So what we're doing is
That's all it is.
literally thousands
War,
of
money,
companies
drugs.
are coming into
They all
the US.
come hand in
Car
hand.
companies, AI.
War, money, and drugs. They all come hand in
We have so
hand.
many car company factories under construction or being designed right now. And they're coming from China, they're coming from Mexico, I must tell you, and they're coming from Canada. A lot of them coming from Canada. But they're coming into our country because they want to build here. And they want to build here for 2 reasons. Number one, they'd like to be here. And number two, the tariffs are protecting them. And
Hello,
number three,
Shirley. Thanks for coming.
they want to avoid paying tariffs. When they build their cars here, they don't have any tariffs to pay. When you build here, you don't have any tariffs.
Like, share, subscribe. Like, share, subscribe. For those who are coming in, thank you for coming. Thank you. Like, share, and subscribe. And if you like the content, if you like the video, please support the channel.
A vision for further protecting religious liberty across the country amid incidents of threats and
So religious liberty is so important. And we're talking about every religion now. And we're doing things on that nobody else has ever done. And we're going to be having a big announcement in about 2 weeks on that question. Yeah, please.
On Space Commit, sir, are you concerned that people may not be willing to relocate from Colorado to Alabama?
No, I'm not worried.
Ronnie, I love that
The
comment.
problem with Colorado is they have a very
Love
good,
it.
voting system. I have so many friends in Colorado. Anytime you have mail-in voting, you have corrupt elections. Very simple.
What the?
It's very simple. Even Jimmy Carter said it with his commission. They set up a commission with him and
But you just did mail-in voting not too long ago.
thing, the finding was, if you have mail-in voting, you will have corrupt elections. Well, your radical left governor decided that he was going to have all mail-in voting in Colorado. Once you have all mail-in voting, and for whatever reason,
we ain't too far apart from each other. Ronnie, we ain't too far apart from each other.
That's the only thing. They're no good on policy. They're no good in management. They're no good at government. But they're great at cheating. And they stick together, too. I give them credit for sticking together. Please.
Obviously, this is a big win for national security, moving this to Alabama. We all can agree with that.
Big.
Is there any idea of the economic impact this has on the state and on that local area?
Katie, do you want to answer that?
Look, I mean, this. Go ahead.
Please go.
This is going to be tremendous. I mean, the state of Alabama, what we've seen through this process is the worst of Washington. We've seen politics get in the way of what is best for the warfighter, what's best for national security. And the state of Alabama is about to show the country the best among us. So we know the economic impact is going to be tremendous. There at Redstone Arsenal, we're proud to house everything from the FBI to headquarters there for material command to a number of things. We obviously have NASA with Marshall Space Flight Center. And so this naturally fits within. When you look at the decision matrix that they placed in front of us, that's why we ranked so high, is because we have the resources necessary and the ability to build out quickly to meet the needs in front of us. As far as economic impact, it would be tremendous. Does anybody have an exact number? 1,600 jobs. With 3,000 spin off. Look at this. This is teamwork right here. So we are really proud, and the people of Alabama are ready to get to work.
Now, I've got a housing question, if you could, just for a second, Mr.
Yeah,
President.
please.
Owning a home and going about the American dream seems like it's out of touch for a lot of Americans. Just recently, you pushed out a statement about addressing an emergency housing situation.
That's right. We're thinking about doing that.
Yeah, can you just?
Well, we need a little help from the Fed. We have a man named Jerome Too Late Powell. You probably heard of him. It's too late. It's way too late. And the economy is pushing through that. Normally, it would have been much tougher, but we're doing so well that we're pushing through it. But it makes it very hard for people to get mortgages because too late is too late. Very simple. He's too late. And probably political, whatever. He wasn't too late before the election. Before the election, he was cutting rates, right? Because he was hoping that, I guess, Biden would get in, or that Kamala would. He was a big Biden guy. Explain that one. And then he was a Kamala person, but he was hoping, I guess, she'd win. I get.
Put a 1 in the chat if you think this shit is boring.
Cut. You know, I think that if you look back many decades ago, the United States was always the lowest, even if they were doing badly. The United States was, because without the United States, everything in the world would die. It's true. It's so powerful. It's so big. And I made it really big in the first 4 years. Then it started to degenerate with what this Biden administration did. But we built it up to a level that I never thought we could be at this quickly. We're the hottest, we're the best financially. The money coming in is so big because of tariffs and other things, but because of tariffs. Tariff gets us even those other things. Plus, it gets us great negotiating. I settled 7 wars, and numerous of those wars were because of trade, and numerous of the trade deals that I made were because of tariffs. It gives you a great negotiating ability. If that ability were taken away from us by a liberal court acting on essentially foreign nations asking to get help from the United States government, when they've been doing this to us for 40 years, that's why we have $38 trillion in debt. We won't have it for long if they let us, if they allow us to do what everybody knows we should be able to do. Yeah, please.
Mr. President, another Biden era action that you're now reversing is that you signed a deal last week to make federal buildings adopt and embrace classical architecture styles again. Can you talk to us about why you do that, and also what's your vision?
Well, we want to see beautiful buildings. Now, you know, it's in the eye of the beholder. I've seen architectural reviews over the years. I'm an expert at it. I've gotten a lot of great reviews, but I've seen buildings that I didn't think were very good get great reviews, and I've seen great buildings.
All my mods, all who are mods, give me a countdown in 60 seconds.
We're doing something at the highest level using great architects and all. And, you know, it's very exciting. But we have a lot of interesting things happening architecturally in D.C. And DC is like a different place. And, even the contractor said, sir, we walked down today, we feel like much safer. It's like a different place. Washington, D.C. is great. Now, we're going to also beautify it. We're going to put a topping on the roads. We're not going to rip them apart and take 4 years to build a road that was exactly the same by the time you build it. But we're going to put toppings. We're going to put new medians in. We're going to get the graffiti off. We're going to put tiles up in the tunnels where the tiles are missing. And we'll do the whole tunnel instead of, a little area where you see new tiles, old tiles that never look too good, but they could use it. They've been up for 50 years. They've served their duty. But we're going to make this within about a 20-mile radius from the White House. We're going to have this place spick and span. It's going to be crime-free, and it's going to be spick and span. You'll be proud of Washington again. Go ahead, please.
Sir, China's having a massive military parade that President Putin and Kim Jong-un will be attending. Do you interpret?
These are Republicans, great Republicans. I want to thank you all for being here for this important announcement. 7 years in the making. As you know, this has been going on for a long period of time.
Okay.
And I am thrilled to report that the U.S. Space Command headquarters will move to the beautiful locale of a place called Huntsville, Alabama, forever to be known from this point forward as Rocket City. Okay, so Huntsville, Alabama. We love Alabama.
Thanks.
I only won it by about 47 points. I don't think that influenced my decision. All right, that didn't, right? But we had a lot of competition for this, and Alabama's getting it.
Anywho, no, this is just a repeat, and it's no information that I needed. Thank you for letting me know. All of it doesn't need to be repeated. All of it doesn't need to be repeated, or nothing needs to be said other than what he is doing right now, in that is BSing. Now he wants to fight with Canada, and Canada is saying no to that ass. And if we have to fight, you see, this is the reason why the economy is the way it is. This is the reason why. This is the reason why that tourism is down 70%. There is no tourism in Vegas. There is no tourism in Miami. There is no tourism in New York or in LA. Why? Because Canada, he put, I don't want to say restraints, but he basically told Canada, you gonna pay a tax. And you wonder why they're not here. Same with Mexico. But he wants New Mexico. Not New Mexico. He wants Mexico, and he wants Canada. And he's saying he's doing great negotiations with China. Hogwash. Nobody wants to do dealings with him. Nobody wants to be allies with him. He said he has a great relationship with Venezuela. Yeah, right after you took his ambassador, king, whatever, and the wife. Like, this is ridiculous, dude. No one gives a hoot. And this is the reason why your ratings are down. And this is your third assassination attempt. No one cares about you, dude. No one really cares about your old ass. And you're going after, and you know what the swap thing about it is? Going to his temper tantrums. This is one of the reasons why generals won't let him in the war room anymore, or they're forbidding him to come into the war room because of his temper tantrums. And people are resigning quick. And we all seen it. Even these Trump supporters, they seen it too. How she was reading off about what somebody else is stating. And you're going off on her because of her job is to read. We don't have yes men. There are no there should be no yes men. You wouldn't do this to Stephen A. Smith, because Stephen A. Smith, that's just somebody you wouldn't do that to. The only people you would do that to are white female supporters. That's the only people you would do that to, white female supporters. Ridiculous, man. Support the channel. Now, I hate to do this. I hate to do this because y'all some wonderful people. No, I'm not gonna do it today. I was gonna do a meme. I was gonna do a meme of Donald Trump losing this shit. Oh no, I was gonna say something, but dang, you beat me to the punch. I was gonna say something that was gonna rock the channel, but you beat me to the punch, wherever that was. Damn it! But no, you're after what happened last night or the night before. No, this is ridiculous. How are you gonna peep around the corner to see what the reaction was after they done dragged your slow ass out? First, they took Millennia, then they took JD Vance out, but you were the last one to go. Just ridiculous. And then you gonna say, let me peep around the corner to see what's up. Let me peep around the corner, who's shooting. Let me peep around the corner. And then you're gonna do a press conference that same night. Did nobody tell you to stay your ass in the White House for your own protection? No, you was screaming for attention. You were screaming for attention. Thanks. Your view versus less than 8,200 in the video telling you multiple being everybody.
Care.
Nope.
You had a dude who tried to take Trump off the planet yet again. It just, at this point in time, it's just becoming all so tiresome. It really is. Because I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I think those people are crazy, obviously. But you have to, I find it a bit coincidental that every single time this man is down in the polls, there's always a crazy person who tries to take him out. Oh, those are just the facts. It happened with Kamala Harris. It's happening now that he was trailing at 32%, especially given the war in Iran, high gas prices, high food, the economy in the dumpster. And sure enough, oh my God, it's a crazy liberal. He tried to take out Trump. Oh my God. It's just like, it's becoming repetitive, right? It's like, I've seen this story before. I've seen this show before. Are there any new episodes? Like, what's going on? You're giving me the same slop over and over and over again. And, you start looking at the people who are attending. It's just, these are, bottom tier, just worthless people, to be honest with you. You had someone trying to, actually, they did steal a wine. You had Kash Patel, who's on the ground. And then we won't even...
Oh, is that your king? Wait a minute. Ain't that the FBI director? What's he doing on the ground? That's your FBI director, right?
Interesting stuff, I would say. Obviously, you had Levitt talking about shots will be fired.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
People can read into that if they like to. I'm not. You had Trump. I found his demeanor to be very interesting because if you juxtapose this
with what has happened at rallies before with him, where he thought he was in danger, his reaction is very different. There was one video where he thought somebody was running up on him, and he's like, and in this one, you hear shots fired, and Melania is like startled because she realizes that's gunfiring, and Trump is smirking. Now you can say, well, Lucas, that's our president. He's hardened, he's battle tested, and everything. And it's just like, sure, just more slop for the people. That's how I view it. It's just more slop. He goes and tells the media that he thought it was trays falling.
And I heard a noise and sort of thought it was a tray. I thought it was a tray going down. I've heard that many times, and it was a pretty loud noise. And it was from quite far away. He hadn't breached the area at all. They really got him.
Come on now, dog. Yes, 100%. Because trays falling on the ground and gunfire sound exactly alike. I don't know, man. I'm just so...
Why didn't I think of that? I'm so disappointed in myself. Why didn't I, Loc Nation, the one with 17,000 subscribers, thanks to all of you, how come I didn't think of that shit?
Removed from everything. I'm so desensitized to all of this dribble, all of this slop. It's just American slop. That's what it feels like at this moment in time. American slop. Idiocracy where people just eat it up and like, well, Brondo's got what plants crave.
But Brondo's got what plants crave.
It's got electrolytes.
And it's like, you can't, I mean, really, that's what you think? Is that really? The guy, is seen wearing an IDF shirt. I mean,
I don't believe.
I mean, this, if I was a conspiracy theorist, which I'm not, this would be a field day, right? This would be a field day, just seeing all this stuff right here, because it's gotten so sloppy, because they know the general public's IQ has extremely plummeted, that, they don't need to put on a show and everything, which is what many would.
And he's right. He's absolutely correct. At this point, people are going to say that when the sky is blue, they're going to tell you it's green. They're going to tell you the earth is flat when you know it's round. In this case, they're going to tell you that Trump is a brave, courageous man, when really he's just full of cat shit. And people know he's full of cat shit. In his inauguration, he said, and I quote, "We're going to drain the swamp. We're going to drain the swamp." The swamp is still full of stuff that doesn't need to be there. It's crazy. And there's just people in the chat that is just as delusional as Trump is, and it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad at this point. I think, and again, we have been spoiled. We have been spoiled rotten by this administration. And into some points of view, that we've been spoiled by Biden and his bullshit too. I would say that Biden is the least favorite president. Everybody's favorite president was Obama. Everybody's favorite president was Obama. But just imagine if Kamala Harris were to run and she were to actually win the office. Things would be looking quite interesting. I would say, let her run. Yeah, drain the swamp, meaning drain the money. He is draining the hell out the money, giving billions and billions of dollars to that fake war over there. that we're still in negotiations on top of a government shutdown. Is the government shutdown still happening? Is the government shutdown still happening, people? It's very, very sad. Like, share, and subscribe channel. Like, share, subscribe to the channel, and go ahead and support the channel. Support the channel, please and thank you. Please and thank you. I hate it when I'm right. There was a conservative today stating, and I'm not going to say who. There was a conservative today and gaslighting that about how how people like wanted to actually do some real damage to the president and how crazy this United States is. Well, when you lie and you use taxpayers' money to basically get what you want, otherwise you're going to go on temper tantrums and lash out on was it True Social. This is the things you get. Waste. How's everybody's gas prices today? Is it the same? Is it pretty much the same, or is it a little bit higher than usual? Huh? What about the price of milk? What about the price of eggs? What about the price of bread? What about the price of meat? You getting clucked for your buck? Still happening? Well, there went your money. Education is bad. Your local officials are weak. That's why this coming November, we must what? Vote. Vote, 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 vote. When Virginia came around, when Virginia won their vote, woo, that helps. It doesn't hurt, it helps. People should be tired of this guy by now. And we're not counting, however, the sick, twisted people, the sick, twisted, all the way right MAGAs who, in quote, should get the ones out, should get immigrants out, legal immigrants. We're not talking about illegal immigrants. We're talking about legal immigrants because they don't need to be here. They don't need to be here in this country because they can't speak English. Some of them do get on my nerves too, but that shouldn't be the reason why. That's just sound like prejudiceness to me. When you want somebody gone who has been here for quite a long time, making money, I don't know, making this country better and it's proven, well proven that immigrants make this country better economically. Economically, they're gonna come up with something else. What are you talking about? They don't make this country illegal. Like, you better read the fine print. Yep, I knew it. Yep, I fucking knew it. People don't pay fucking attention.
Argue this is because every single time something happens, we always get a perfect picture, right? There's always somehow camera people that, while shots allegedly are being fired, while we don't know if there's one or more shooters, everyone's just hold that pose, that's it, perfect. And just like, Okay. Oh my God, I can't believe this. This is horrible. The political violence. We have got to, turn down the temperature. I don't. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me because I've been doing this for a minute and I've seen this. But there's got to be a point where everyone's like, y'all see this, right? Like it's not just me. Y'all. Oh, okay, got you. Damn. Then of course we have our favorite blonde-haired, blue-eyed lady, Erica Kirk, who's crying, and somehow we have a camera right at the precise time where she's walking out going, it's all just bad theater. That's what it feels like. I'm not saying this is bad theater. No, what happened was real, 100% real, not staged at all. But it just comes off as bad theater. That's what it comes off of. How many times are we going to see Erica Kirk crying and her fake tears and all of this? It's like, okay, gotcha. But I do have to say, my favorite part of all this is how Trump spins this as a positive, right? Because when, the first thing that pops into your head when someone or the American people, listen, think about this. The American people have multiple times tried to remove this person from the office of the presidency. Multiple times, okay? Majority have been white. We have this one black guy, but majority have tried to move him from office. His own people have tried to remove him from office. Get him out of here. His own people said, we've got to get him out of office. His own people have denounced him. His own people. And what does he do? Oh, they're not MAGA. They're low IQ. Yada, yada, yada. Just think about this. But naturally, when you start to think, the first thing that comes to mind is not, they want to silence the truth, because that was the right's, framing for all of their hateful rhetoric. It was always, the reason why I'm banned is they're trying to silence the truth. Okay, that's what they're trying to do, and that's exactly what Trump does. Well, you have to understand that great people, they try to take out great people. Look at Abe Lincoln. They took him out. They're trying to take me out.
I must tell you, the most impactful people, the people that do the most. You take a look at the people, Abraham Lincoln. You go through the people that have gone through this where they got them. But the people that do the most, the people that make the biggest impact, they're the ones that they go after.
Sure, Dan.
Are there those?
All right. American workforce. Let's just start here. Myth. Immigration hurts American workers. Immigrants take jobs from Americans and drive wages down. Fact. Immigrants are highly I hate that freaking word because I said it yesterday. And I just hate saying it today. American, I'll just skip that. American, check it out. Launching new companies. And I'm gonna see if I can make this bigger. Aha! I can make it bigger. Oh, I didn't know I could do that. My bad. Launching new companies at twice the rate of native-born Americans and create large numbers of jobs. All of this increases employment opportunities for native-born American workers, boost wages, and strengthening in the middle class. As the U.S. economy begins to reopen, job creators will be absolutely critical to boosting recovery in communities across the country. Research shows that immigrants generate complement rather than compete with American workers. because they have different skill sets and educational backgrounds. The U.S. economy is dynamic and not zero slum. When one individual obtains a job, it does not mean another individual loses a job. In fact, immigrants help grow this economy by filling labor needs, purchasing purchasing goods, and paying taxes. When more people work, productively increases. It productively increases, and as an and as a wait, I'm sorry, and as an increasingly number of American retired from the coming years, immigrants will help fill the labor demands and maintain social safety nets. So, what are we talking about here? $90 billion in a year of illegal immigrants. They pay to the economy, but don't get back from it. Wait, let me read that again. $90 billion a year from illegal immigrants. They pay to the economy. They don't. Oh, because they don't get back they don't get back in taxes. You know why they don't get any back in taxes? Because of this fool. Because of him. But you can go on research this. I just read you facts. For those who have hurt feelings. For those who have hurt feelings in the chat, I just read you facts over feelings. Fuck them. So, I can just scroll up. Economy impact. Myth. Immigrants are a drain on the, in my Bill Cosby voice. American or immigrants are a drain on this U.S. economy. And reducing immigration would make our economy stranger. Duh. Fact. The United States needs immigrants to stay competitive and drive the economy growth. Particularly, our economy starts to reopen. Individuals who create jobs and absolutely critical to our recovery. Immigrants are innovators, job creators, and consumers with an enormous spending power that drives our economy and creates employment opportunities for all Americans. Someone's big mad. Oh, no Trump haters. No Trump haters in the room. Okay, I'll just because when I read my facts, it's all good. It's all good. Hey, hello, Simple. How are you? Welcome to the show. I will continue. Immigration added 2 trillion, not billion, not million, but trillion to the U.S. GDP in 2016 and 458.7 billion to state, local, and federal taxes in 2018. In 2018, after immigrants spent billions of dollars on state and local and federal tax, they were left with 1.8 $1.2 trillion on spending power, which they use to purchase goods and services. Stimulating local businesses and activities. Postpone cuts to our legal immigration system would have devastating effects to our economy, decreasing GOP by 2% over 20 years, shrinking growth by 12.5% and cutting 4.6 million jobs. Rust Belt states would be hitting particularly hard as they rarely or rely on immigration and stabilize their public can't even read that right. Population, stabilize their population and revive their economies. I don't even want to go into the educational part. So you got the education and you have the economy. And these immigrants who come in from different countries are impacting the United States because they got to pay taxes anyway. And who does it help? You all, us. But for some odd strange reason, white folks always have to have the excuse to say they are hurting us. And you got dumb niggas in on the side of the, you're hurting us, they're hurting us too. I was a truck driver. It hurt up. I agree with that white man say. Get a grip. Get a grip. Ain't you supposed to be independent anyway? The money that you make ain't gonna affect his bottom line. The money that he makes shouldn't affect your bottom line. It shouldn't affect it. But some of these people are bullshit. Do we like to go to education? Let's read along. Education. Myth. Immigrants are poorly educated and have no skill to offer Americans. Duh. Fact. Immigrants tend to be well educated. Stupid. Sorry. Let me turn the volume up. Immigrants tend to be well educated and skilled in their field. 43% of recently arrived families and diversity-based immigrants are college graduates, compared to the 29% of native-born Americans. White, possibly black. More than half of STEM degrees rewarded by the U.S. universities go to international studies, and about half of the applicants are H-1B temporary work visas, have a master's degree or above from a U.S. university. Immigrants represent 30% of the new entrepreneurs. That's what I was going to say. Entrepreneurs. That's what I was going to read about. Entrepreneurs. Despite making up only 13% of the population, keeping the workforce flexible, allowing companies to grow faster and increase the productivities of American workers by bringing bringing in individuals with diverse skill sets and new ideas. In fact, 45% of Fortune 500 companies were founded by immigrants and their children, employing over 10 million people worldwide. So immigrants do help this country. But you get knuckleheads all day, every day saying that, they should be deported, or they didn't go through the process, or they shouldn't be here because they speak a different language. I didn't see him hurt my pockets. No, because you wanted that increase from the orange man. Tax on tips. I remember when he came here and he was speaking on that tax on tip shit, and everybody and the culinary union came by, and they were throwing up signs, some of them secretly saying F Trump, F Trump, F Trump. And there was only a few people there anyway. There was only a few people there. To you delusional Trump supporters, I just want to say, y'all are making, you make this so easy. You make this so easy especially for people who do this every day. You make this so easy and so simple. But you want to say something, son? You want to say something, son? Come here, son. Not in front of the camera. What do you think of Trump, son?
I don't like him.
Well, that solved that argument. And he's about to be 12 years old. Well, that solves that argument. So, of course, there's come say something. He just said it. He just said it and ran off. Oh, so going back up. There's American workforce. Let me see. There's American workforce. There's economy impact, education, taxes, and estimated services. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on. And you can find this on Forward Us, FWD.us. Immigrant facts. The immigrant facts. Positive economy impacts immigrants. You can look that up and you can just read it for yourself. You can just read this whole thing for yourself. Now, truth be told, don't tell you I told you so. Now, if you want better for you and the situation, your family, why don't you do something for self? Do something for yourself and make your family grow. It's not, again, what JoJo or what Jose or Jesus or whoever over there, what he's doing over there shouldn't impact you. I mean, after all, this is the United States of America, land of the free, home of the opportunity, right? Unless the Constitution was full of shit. But I digress. Don't put him in this foolish. Don't put who in this foolishness. Who are you talking about? What are you talking about in the chat? Anyway, that's the story. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. Let's play some more.
those circumstances where good people have been taken out? Absolutely. Charlie, we're not talking about you. You're one of the bad ones. Yeah, I think you know that now, huh? Yes, Satan's probably sat you down and gave you a whole brief. Yeah, well, I wouldn't know. Anyways, and then there are those people who are like, maybe you're just a POS. Did that ever come across, your mind? Did that ever pop in your head? Maybe I'm not doing right by the American people.
I miscalculated. I couldn't have miscalculated.
But no, that's not how narcissists work. It's always that, no, they're wrong. They're wrong. I'm practically Jesus, all right? I'm practically Jesus. And then I'm going to lie about me being Jesus and say, no, I was a Red Cross, doctor because, I'm healing the American people as they starve to death. It's just, this guy's mind. And
I don't mean to, but I guess it's just doing this for fun, I guess.
Hell of a thing. We spoke to April Ryan, longest serving White House correspondent member who's Black in the history of America. She said, watch, because no telling what will happen.
Y'all got
here's some of that interview before we get into the analysis of
the
alleged assassination attempt. Here it is.
You know what? And I'm going to be honest with you because I'm just so incensed by this. I haven't even asked if he's going to speak. I'm assuming he's going to speak. If he doesn't, I'm like, okay. But if he doesn't...
Stop. April.
Dr. Ritchie, I'm serious.
Do you think he's going to go to the correspondent dinner and not say something?
Who knows? They could have worked out a deal with him.
What's the worst Trump can do?
You know what? And what's the worst Trump can do? We are watching it every day.
I have another video. You'll see in this video that the shooter swiftly breached security during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. There's a reason for this, and I'll explain it to you. Here it is.
Any monitors there? Shall I post it and pass down that?
All that noise and only a couple people in the back heard that.
Obviously, a terrifying situation. We do not condone violence at Indisputable. We do not condone political violence on Indisputable. We have championed and advocated for civility in our political discussion in these United States of America. We will continue to do that. This is the current state of our politics. Unfortunately, there's a lot of information and misinformation online. It did not just start with this. A gunman, according to the report, opened fire Saturday during the White House Correspondents' Dinner. After seeing the videos, many are raising questions about the level of security at such a high-profile event. A Washington Post report reveals that the Trump administration decided to provide a lower level of security for this particular White House Correspondents' Dinner than it has for other previous.
Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Become a member of the We-On-Loc Nation channel. And we have a member who had joined. I forgot to mention this a long time ago. We had a member who had joined. I want to thank you so much for that particular person. Let's keep the train rolling, people.
High-ranking officials, even though the president and many cabinet members were in attendance according to officials who aren't familiar with the security plan. There's more. When so many officials gather in one place for official functions and also non-official functions, such as an inauguration or State of the Union, the Secretary of Homeland Security typically puts the Secret Service in charge of coordinating all security through a formal designation known as a, quote, National Special Security Event. This sounds quite straightforward. There's more. There was no such designation on Saturday night at an event also attended by thousands of journalists who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss security details. Many are also providing questions because of the press secretary, Carolyn Levitt, use of these particular words prior to the event. Here it is.
It'll be funny. It'll be entertaining. There will be some shots fired tonight in the room. So everyone should tune in. It's going to be really great.
All right. Once again, many, especially those in conspiracy land, are pointing to that and some other things. We don't have those details that are indisputable. We can report on the things that have happened, allow you to make a decision. We are confident in your ability to do so. Here's another fact. Trump posted this that same night. Here it is.
Having them butt naked
So that
on the
night,
floor.
Trump posted these photos of the shooter, Cole Allen, shirtless and on the ground. As you know, this attempt was stopped by way of stopping him. Quote, he's initially expected to be charged with 2 counts of using a firearm and 1 count of assault on a federal officer using a dangerous weapon. He's scheduled to be arraigned today in federal district court.
But what I'm tripping on is that it was reported that he went after administrators, not Trump. Does that make any sense?
And additional charges are to be expected. Then Trump decided to take to the press briefing room, all right, to sell the nation something, a ballroom. Here it is.
We looked at all of the conditions that took place tonight, and I will say, it's not a particularly secure building. And I didn't want to say this, but this is why we have to have all of the attributes of what we're planning at the White House. It's actually a larger room, and it's much more secure. It's drone-proof, it's bulletproof glass. We need the ballroom. That's why Secret Service, that's why the military are demanding it. They've wanted the ballroom for 150 years for lots of different reasons, but today's a little bit different.
This is in bad taste. Why? Because you had families there. You had individuals who were terrified, traumatized by the fact that they heard gunshots at an official White House gathering. The fact there's a security dynamic that needs to be examined and investigated by the U.S. Congress. Why did the security relax during this correspondence dinner? Could it have been because of Trump's disdain for the media? Could it be something more sinister? These are questions that only become more pressing when within minutes or hours, individuals who were shot at, something that they have been told by a judge cannot be sold. There's more. The Department of Justice acted accordingly. So the DOJ on Sunday pressed the preservation group who's suing the White House, Donald Trump's ballroom, to drop the lawsuit in wake of Saturday's shooting at the White House Correspondents Association dinner. Before I go to the letter, let me explain cause and effect. You have relaxed security at the event according to multiple individuals familiar with the security plan. You do not have a special designation from Homeland Security in order to have an exacting security protocol.
Yeah, how are we
You have an
supposed to
individual
feel?
who is able to
How's
breach
the
multiple levels of
media
security,
supposed to feel?
and shots were fired. You're in this audience. You hear these shots. You are traumatized. Immediately after that, the Trump administration, led by Donald Trump himself, they try to sell you on a ballroom. Okay?
Yep.
I'm just putting together facts.
Yep.
Tries to sell you a ballroom. Now remember, prior to this, Trump has never gone to a correspondence dinner as president of the United States, ever. His first one.
Ooh.
Okay? They try to sell you a ballroom. Why was Hegseth there? Why was the FBI director there? He was kind of there. Why everyone else who obviously has had disdain for the media? Why is the press secretary giving commentary about the media that she says is antithetical to truth? Why are they there?
Good
This
question.
is unprecedented.
Good question.
For Trump.
Good question.
Somehow the narrative transforms into this, a ballroom. Now, some of you may say, well, that's an insensitive approach given what has happened. Understand, Trump made it about a ballroom. I did not. Trump did. So Trump took what is a life-threatening situation, within a few minutes turns it into a sale of a ballroom. Department of Justice, they follow quickly as if the letter was already prepared. Hey guys, because this has happened, you need to voluntarily drop this lawsuit. Put it up full mass. I'm just giving you the facts. In a letter posted on social media, not to the organization, not to the court, but on social media, meaning to who? To you, to me, to us. In a letter posted to social media by the acting attorney general, Todd Blanche, Donald Trump's previous private attorney, the Department of Justice pressed for the National Trust for Historic Preservation to drop its, quote, frivolous lawsuit, end quote, against the Trump administration after Saturday's incident. Quote, if your client does not dismiss the lawsuit by 9 a.m. Monday, the government will move to dissolve the injunction and dismiss the case in light of last night's extraordinary events. The letter continues. Now, before I go into more details of the letter, I want you to understand the nuance that they are not sharing. So there is an injunction. Mm-hmm. The injunction is a stop action from a court. A judge said, you can't build this ballroom. We need more evidence, okay? Now, the Department of Justice tried to sell this as a security dynamic and a bunker and military backup and all this kind of stuff. So they threw in the ballroom as if the ballroom was required for this. So the judge said very clearly in the order, you don't need the ballroom per se, but you could continue with all of these other security features. Yeah, the judge did not stop the bunker. The judge did not stop the reinforced steel and everything else that was in there. No issues. But the ballroom is an issue. Now, the GOP also got the memo, quote, I'm working with my team. This is a quote. I'm working with my team to draft legislation ensuring the White House ballroom is completed. GOP Representative Lauren Boebert wrote on social media Sunday, quote, I don't believe congressional approval is required for the project, but I'll keep activist judges on the sidelines, so be it. But if it'll keep activist judges on the sidelines, so be it. More to come this week, end quote. Florida Representative Randy Fine, Republican, meanwhile indicated he would introduce a bill titled the Build the Ballroom Act. The what? While the lawsuit's attempting to stop this private to the country are nonsense last night makes it clear that we need it.
This dude's insane. This dude is so... Oh. How many are tired of Trump by now? Well, don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Because if you ain't tired of Trump, if you are not mentally tired of Trump by now, then hey, I suggest I'll tell you what, I will pay for a counsel of your choice. Believe me, I will definitely, no matter where you are, I will definitely pay for you to get some counseling. Because this don't make no goddamn sense. This doesn't make any sense at all. I will definitely help you pay for some counseling. Believe me, I'm a very sentimental guy. I can help you. For those for you Trump supporters out there, trust me, I have a sentimental side to me. I can definitely give you some counseling and a box of tissue. And if you want, I can provide the baby oil. I can close the door. You can handle your business right then and there. Whatever you do, just let me know when you're done, and my team will go in there and clean all that shit up. I ain't gonna be in that room ill. Whatever you need to do, you need to get out some frustration. Go ahead, because this November come around. You gonna really need some therapy. You gonna definitely need some therapy. Hey, it was a blast, guys. I gotta go, but I got. Listen, my sanity is downstairs in the kitchen, and I must cater to my stomach, which my stomach is calling me. It's calling me. It's calling me. You ever had that rumble in your stomach with get off the phone, nigga? Like, okay, I got you. Go and get your water. And speaking of coffee, donate to my coffee fund. Please donate to my coffee fund at Dizzy. Well, Barbin has already put up the Cash App or whatever in the super chat. Blah 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 blah. But go ahead and support the channel, and I should be back with another live soon. Thank you for support.